Hello, everyone. I am glad that you are back. And today I want to talk a little bit about my experiences in the last 6 weeks after getting back into Shmups. I haven't played Shmups in like 10 months or so. I'm a little bit rusty. And yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I experienced yeah, during the last weeks. And I learned that there is no easy way to get good at shmups, or no easy way to get back into the genre. And I came to this conclusion because I tried to play quote unquote easy games. I pushed through some frustration and I even got a 1cc, but not the way it was not the way I expected it to be. So we are watching my 1cc run of Bullet Soul Infinite Burst here in the background, but I won't talk too much about what I'm doing and how I'm doing things. I will talk about the game in a few minutes, but this is just for your entertainment, just there's just to have something to watch. So let's start with what I experienced, what my journey in the last like 6 months was, not 6 months, 6 weeks was like, and what actually happened. So I've tried different games. I made progress. I hit some walls, and yeah, I learned a few things that I didn't expect, or I maybe ignored. So I started with Blaze of Storm, the new Terrarin game, and if you played games from Terrarin, those are very cool games. They remind me of those PC Engine shooters, old school 16-bit shooters, which is very nice, and they are also quite forgiving. Things went pretty well with this game. I managed to get 2 clears fairly quickly on normal and on hard mode, and I also tried the caravan mode for a bit. So great fun. I recommend this game. I think it's their best work to date. And clearing Blaze of Storm gave me some confidence at first, and yeah, I thought to myself I might get back into shmups faster than I initially thought. So after Blade of Storms, I was thinking about which game I wanted to tackle next, and I stumbled upon the Shoot the Core cast Discord server, and I saw that the focus shot of the year is Dodonpachi Resurrection. And in the past, I cleared the easy modes for the 1.5 version as well as the Black Label, and I think that's great fun. Um, so I cleared the easy, or yeah, it's called easy mode, right? Or super easy mode. I'm not sure, but the easier modes of those games, I cleared those, and I had a lot of fun. It was great to start out with those games. And now I wanted to clear the normal difficulty, and that's where I hit hit a wall, and I really experienced the I don't know what to call it, shmup hardness or something like this. Um, because at the beginning I genuinely thought there's no way I'm even making it to stage 4. I was constantly dying in stage 2 and stage 3, and yeah, it was very hard in the beginning. Even though Resurrection is also considered an easier entry into the STG genre. But after some practicing, I was able to get to stage 5 somewhat consistently with about 2 lives and 3 bombs. But usually stage 5, you know the stage 5 with the laser wheels, and that's where I lose all my resources. So the exact resources I need for the final boss to get through this. And even though I learned that the most common strategy is to brute force through the laser wheels by using your manual bombs because their effect lasts longer. I still felt like this is very frustrating and I need too much resources. Usually, when the stage is halfway over, I'm always down to, I don't know, like 4 bombs and 1 life, or no lives left. So it is very frustrating, and yeah, I'm to this day not sure why people consider this an easy entry. Um, yeah, and that's also when I started questioning something. My original plan was to keep playing Dodonpachi throughout the year and slowly work my way toward a 1cc because yeah, I hit this wall and I didn't want to get frustrated like every day. And of course, you need to hit this wall and you need to practice and improve. But one of the major issues is that you do not have save states in the game. It would be a little bit easier to practice if I could set specific save states to improve my practice routine because I do not have too much time during the day to practice because yeah, family life, my kids, they want and deserve a lot of attention. So my pockets for training, for practicing, are a little bit short right now. But then I saw that Dodonpachi Resurrection Reignited. I think Reignited is the right title. Got announced, and I suddenly wasn't sure if I want to stick to my initial plan, working through Resurrection, because I read that um, they wanted to implement some new stages, and now I'm thinking maybe they are doing something like branching paths, and my hope is that they do it after stage 4, so you can decide if you want to have like stage 5A or stage 5B. 5A might be the stage we have now with the laser wheels, and 5B might be something a little bit more, and not easier necessarily, but different, without laser wheels. Maybe it is easier. Maybe you can make the risk of going into the laser wheel stage a little bit more worth it by implementing a hidden extent or something like this. It's not thought out, but I hope they are doing something like this so you have like a branching path. And I am thinking of waiting to see if this version is something I have more success with, and I experience a little less frustration because with the laser wheels and the way you have to memorize it, I always felt like in Mushihime-sama, for example, I had more control about the stage and how to approach it. And with the laser wheels, I don't know why. I think, or I feel like things are way out of my control. But this might be just a personal problem. Um, yeah, but I also thought maybe I should play some, yeah, so-called confidence booster games on the side. Games that people consider easy entry points to the genre. So I looked up recommendations, lists, and I also found a Google sheet where a player had all the names of the games, the clear dates, the difficulty ratings, so the personal, very subjective difficulty ratings, and yeah, I always think that this is interesting to see what other people would recommend to newcomers. So I appreciate those lists, and it's cool to get an idea of what other people would recommend. Um, but something stood out to me when I looked through this list. There were games on that list that I personally never considered easy. Oh, and while we are at this point, at this mid boss, this one shoots this very fast bullets, and it can be a little bit hard to tell what he's doing or where you have to stay. So from time to time, or some of the bosses or the mid bosses, you have to practice. That's what I wanted to say. But I will come back to the game, to Bullet Soul, and my thoughts about this in just a few moments. Let me just continue with easy games lists for shmups. So there were games on that list that I personally never considered easy, like Gate of Thunder or Thunder Force 3, because, well, first, I personally have a little bit of problems with horizontal shooters, but that's a me problem. But yeah, in general, I never thought that these games were that easy. So I started wondering in what order were these games actually played, because the list was sorted by difficulty ranking. So the easiest game was at the top of the list, and the hardest game this player played was on the bottom of the list. So I changed the sorting to date. So the game that was cleared first was on top, and the game that was cleared latest was at the bottom. And this was really eye-opening because um, there there was no real order. It was all mixed up. You had a so-called or rated um, hard game or medium difficulty game at the beginning, something like Mushihime-sama, and then there was Thunder Force 3, and then came Doronpachi Daiojo, and then came something like Gate of Thunder. So what happened was the whole list was mixed up. The difficulties were mixed, and that's when I realized, or when it clicked for me, there is no objectively easy way to get into this genre. What feels easy to one person can be incredibly hard for someone else, and the other way around. The only thing that really matters is finding a game that pulls you in and that clicks with you and you want to spend time with. And I had this experience as well with Mushihime Sama. With Mushihime Sama, that was a game that was also way above my skill level. But I still put in a ton of time because it just hooked. I wanted to come back every day, every single day, play the game, get better at it, see more of the levels without losing any lives, and that's exactly the kind of game I am looking for right now. Getting this experience of just wanting to see more of the game, playing the game, and getting better. Which brings me to Bullet Soul. This was meant to be my confidence booster, but for me it kind of turned out the opposite. What do I mean by that? So the game itself just doesn't feel very engaging to me. You can see it in the stages. You basically can just chill out at the bottom, and you are never threatened by enemies. Every time you kill an enemy, all the bullets cancel, and this is also true for the bosses and the mid bosses. If you reach a certain point, every bullet cancels, and yeah, that's also um, the case in other games. But here it is just too. Yeah, you just don't feel threatened. We are now on stage 4, and you can see that a lot of bullets are getting cancelled right here. So I can just chill out at the bottom and wait for stuff to happen. I just need to go a little bit left, a little bit right, but it doesn't really help me learn how to dodge stuff. The only interesting part of the game uh, is the mid bosses and the stage bosses, and that this is also only to an extent. Um, yeah, which is not really really engaging to just feel barely threatened. You know, here I have to dodge a little bit, but yeah, it's not too crazy. Now we're going into this boss, and you see the bullets get cancelled before they get even close to me. I just wanted to dodge a little bit, but yeah, I'm not getting threatened, and this is a normal difficulty. This is a stage 4 mid boss. It is just, yeah, hanging out here. This uh, is one of the cases where I thought, okay, you have to know what is about to come. This was a very fast shot, which I didn't expect. So this is because I did not spend too much time with the game. And now this one here, this is the part where you can die very easily because this is some kind of memorizer. You need to know that these enemies come from left, top, and the bottom to surround you. If you don't know that, you will just instantly die. You have to know that you have the safe space on the left, and this game relies on this in different cases. In stage 1 already, there's one of those spots where an enemy comes from the bottom and the top and then gets put together, and it can just crush you in the middle, and no autobomb will help. And you also have this in stage 5, and you will see me die in stage 5 to this boss because I forgot about that. This thing is also very interesting. I have to use bombs. I just don't know if I used them by myself or if I just got hit. I'm not sure, but there are definitely interesting parts. This one as well. You have to survive for a bit and dodge a little bit, but this is way too way too rare in this game. I just feel that they went a little bit overboard with the bullet canceling. So the mid bosses and also the stage bosses have some interesting patterns. They really have, but most of the time the bullets cancel too fast, so you don't even need to dodge, or when you are trying to get in a better position, the bullets already cancel. So what I thought was, why why didn't they make a boss rush out of this? So the stages itself, this is a little bit challenging, maybe, but one of the more challenging parts of the game. Um, yeah, I was wondering why not cut all the stuff out that is boring, like the stages. I personally think they're more or less boring, and just go to mid boss and stage boss, and then again mid boss, stage boss. I think the same way they do it with the gauntlet in Super XYX, and maybe add more mid bosses and stage bosses, so it is a little bit longer, you know, like here. So it doesn't cancel that early, or it doesn't cancel at all, which is cool. Here it cancels, and yeah, but you have to do at least a little bit of dodging here as well. You have to do a little bit of dodging, or use a bomb, get hit and use a bomb. But in most instances, I feel like the canceling of the bullets happens too early. And while I think it's a great, or it might be a cool entry point for beginners to the genre, on the other hand, you don't really need to learn the bullet dodging. Yeah, here there's another pattern. I think it's really cool, and it's not that easy. You don't see this pattern often, I feel like, but it just happens too rarely that you really need to yeah, to dodge. You know, here's another one. It would be cooler if I had to place myself a little bit more strategically and think a little bit more. This is also not too bad. You have to dodge all these incoming bullets, which is kind of cool. Yeah, but it happens so rarely that my impression was that the game is more or less, yeah, boring, at least for me. And I also don't like this memorization aspect, that they rely on this cheap memorization thing um, to catch you off guard. So I started thinking I don't really enjoy the game, and when I play like single player experiences, platformers, RPGs, or whatever, and I don't enjoy the game, I normally try to decide, or I decide that I don't want to finish the game. I put some time in, I get an impression, and then I say, okay, it's fine. And I had the same thing with Bullet Soul. But I felt like, okay, I have to clean up some sections and then I could get the 1cc. So what I did instead was to turn the auto bombs on, just to see how far I could get if the auto bombs, yeah, would save me if I forget some kind of memorizer, or if I get hit by a pattern that I didn't expect. And the result is the 1cc. I didn't spend much time with the game. Um, yeah, and turning the auto bomb on gave me the 1cc like instantly. I think it was the first run that I did with an auto bomb um, on, and I didn't even spend too much time with the game. And I'm not a super player or anything. It's not to brag. It's just to yeah, just to mm, give you a sense of how I experienced the game. I thought all this canceling, it made the game a little bit too easy, a little bit too boring for my taste. Here's the memorizer I was talking about, um, and no auto bomb will rescue, I guess. Yeah, so I just wanted to try like one or two more times to play the game. I wasn't really invested to spend more time to clean up the sections I struggled with. I just wanted to see if I can get the 1cc with the auto bomb, and that's actually what happened. It, yeah, it it didn't feel really earned, so it was not this. I won't call it relief, but when I got the 1cc in Mushihime-sama, I felt like I accomplished a very huge thing because I spent so much time. And even on those confidence builder games, so to speak, I think you can have this feeling to feel relieved and to feel like you did something very cool. But I didn't feel it in Bulletstorm. Um, and part of it is also, yeah, that I didn't want to put in more time. I just wanted to get over with it. And I also don't like the visual design and presentation. It's not only the gameplay. I don't think the characters are very interesting. Games where I would say the characters are interesting and I want to play because of the art direction and the character design would be S-Braid or Armed Police Batrider. Those games and those characters look very, very cool. And yeah, here you have one of the rare instances where it got a little bit busy on the screen. But yeah, S-Braid would be one of those games where I think, yeah, that would be one of the games where I say I really like the art direction, the art design, the level design, and so on and so on. And this is very subjective. I understand that. Here you have another cool pattern. I think it's the final boss already. Yeah, or like Armed Police Batrider. They have so many characters. They have such a cool design that I want to spend some time with these different characters. Turns out it was not the final boss. I can't even really remember. Yeah, this is also an interesting section, or a harder section, because if you don't kill the enemies fast enough, you will, yeah, get into the same trouble that I do here. This would be one of those sections where I could have done a little bit more homework, and yeah, clean up some parts. So after I got the 1cc on Bullet Soul, I moved to Drainus and unlocked the arcade mode, which was a lot of fun. Now I'm thinking about putting more time into that. I'm also putting time into Mecha Ritz Rondo. Is that the name? I always yeah, confuse it a little bit. But it is the this this month game of the Shoot the Corecast podcast, and I played a little bit of that, and I think it's very interesting. I don't think that the 1cc is the main reason to play Mecha Ritz, but it is to increase the score. This is the first game where I think the scoring aspect is very interesting. I mean, there are other games, of course, where scoring is interesting, but Mecha Ritz is the first one where I am actually trying to get a better score because it correlates with the rank and how well you play and how hard it gets. So it's very interesting mechanically. So I'm playing that. But the biggest takeaway for me with this experience is that don't rely too much on lists of easy games. There is no objectively easy game. You need to find a game that hooks you. And that's exactly what I'm looking for right now. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for being here and see you in the next one.